me just share my screen. All right. And open up the code. All right, so I was doing some debugging today. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do this. But all right, so I'll open up Docker too and go ahead and run it. So we
Oh yeah, I couldn't actually check this. I forgot to check this. Yeah.
Oh, it's all good. Let me just restart these. And the hot load should work. It just doesn't work as well on Windows. You have to do some, like, if you look at the project repository, you can see that if you come all the way down, troubleshooting, if you have issues with hot reload on Windows, add this to the root and put this here, and rerun it. But I'm still not getting a hot reload, so, but that's not a big issue. I'm just sharing the other Windows users. If you're not getting the hot reload, you should just do this. Didn't work for me, but it could just be my system. But let's see. So we ran the restart. Let me go ahead and open up the app and show you exactly what I'm trying to do. So localhost 3000. And I was looking at other methods of navigating from the landing page to the form instead of using query parameters, but it seems like query parameters is really the way to go. um, there's a couple different implementations using query parameters that I saw, but a lot of the stuff that I saw was using query parameters. So I think we'll stick with that. And like, I believe it was Paul last night said that once it's up in production, it'll be a lot better. So we have the map showing up. I actually want to take these controls away too. And I want, so let's just say a repair technician starts off and they live on Church Street, for example. Um, their Zoom is going to be based on their current business. I think that would be way better. You know, focus on getting the word out in your local area, and then once you have a certain amount of business coming in with enough ranking, like a high enough rating, you know, customers rate you, you're doing a good job, you're showing up to appointments, all that stuff, then it zooms out and you have access to a larger area. Kind of like Grand Theft Auto, you know, like you access other areas based on previous performance and continue zooming out and taking over larger areas as you do more jobs, get better at what you're doing, and that sort of thing. But I want to have the zoom set to, you know, like a very, because even this right here, it's so zoomed in. But if you think about it, like these apartment buildings here, there's got to be, this is the capital of Connecticut, so there's got to be like 500 people living here. You know, there's business here, there's business here, there's business all here. We kind of looked at it like this when we were in sales. Everybody had their territory, and their territory grew as they, you know, got promoted, became sales managers, who still went out into the field, but they just had teams under them. I thought that would be pretty cool for this, as far as setting up incentives for people to go out there and grind and bust out jobs and that sort of thing. But I am cautious on how much you gamify stuff. But anyways, so right now the main thing I'm doing, trying to do at least, is load this shapefile. So if you look at our map, you can see that we have a function called load shapefile. So that's where we're loading the shapefile. Now, there's a couple things I want to do here. One of them is I don't want to load the shapefile every single time a map loads. Because if it starts off with a couple technicians who are looking at maps, that's cool because it's a small number of people. But if there was ever like 1,000 or 10,000 all looking at maps and looking at the map several times throughout the day, we should have the data somewhere. We should have like this load shape file. I believe I need to look into this a little bit more, but I believe this function here, the shapefile.open, which comes from the shapefile library, specifically designed to open up shapefiles. I believe it converts the shapefile into JSON. So that's going to be a massive JSON though. I think in the beginning, we'll go ahead and just store the whole JSON file somewhere so we at least have access to a JSON file in our application, which is what we want. We don't want it to be in a shapefile. And then eventually there's got to be some way to take that shapefile, parse it depending on the technician that's looking at the map in their current location, and then cache that so you don't have to keep parsing the JSON file every time they look at the map. They should have like their section of the map already cached. What's up?
Yeah, so the thing with shapefiles is the shapefiles have different layers basically. So there is a base layer. So if you open that map which you've shown, so the admin page,
Mm-hmm.
so this what you see is basically the base layer.
Yes.
This never changes.
Yes.
This always stays remain. Now,
The base gets updated by people, it said.
yeah, but it's like, I mean, it doesn't changes that frequently. Like unless you add like new routes into that place or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what I know, like for example, like the streets and all, I don't think they change frequently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like something like for a user to change every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, for example, let's say you are referring to something. I mean, you don't have to load this base file every time to a user. So this base file can be loaded at once. That's what I think. And when you talk about like the actual data, let's say any kind of visualization you want to see, so those are mostly you call like there are like three types of them. One is there's these are actual terms. One is circle, one is marker, third is circle marker, and fourth one is polygon and polyline. I think five.
Yep. Yep.
So these are basically different types of markers or like visualizations you can place on a map,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't take much time. Now it depends on what you want. You basically place them accordingly. So if you want just a marker, then it's basically you need to create a marker object and just do map dot add to marker.
Yeah, so if you look at our map.tsx, so right here we're loading the shapefile. Eventually we want to just import the JSON here. But you could see here.
Yeah, you can check the map instance, and if that maps instance is already ready, that means your base file is already loaded. Something like
Ye-
that you can refer.
Yes, that's right here. If map
Yeah.
yeah, I did convert because we were using a div with an ID. Now we're using two refs because every resource I found they were using use ref to reference the map, and then you could see down here in the div we're passing in a ref to the map container. That's how I got it to show up. But down here you can see this is our current map. You're running the GeoJSON method on it, and you're passing in the GeoJSON data. So this here should be JSON. Like this load shapefile, this should return a JSON. And so with this JSON for this JSON, there's going to be all of the zip codes that exist in the load shapefile, and for each one of the zip codes, we're going to apply a style to the zip code. We call it a feature, at least that's what they call it in the documentation. We're going to figure out what the zip code is. We're going to pass that zip code into the get value for zip code, which is down here. So this is actually going to be targeting the database though. So we're going to pass the zip code in. We're going to figure out how many people have come from this certain zip code. It's either going to return a value that exists. If it doesn't exist in the database, then we're going to return 0. And we're going to set that value to 0, and then we're going to pass the value. It might be 0, it might be 50, it might be 1,000 into get color for value. So you can see right here, just created like a little. These are
Zip code
different.
shouldn't be part of the base map. What I think.
What's up?
The zip code shouldn't be base map is way too like niche level. Zip
This
code is
that's
also
not the
part
base.
of-
That's not the base map. This is
Yeah,
this is creating a layer.
Oh yeah, yeah, correct. So yeah, so these layers are something which doesn't take a lot of time. I think it's a polygon layer. So
Yeah,
these
this
layers,
right here, l.geojson. This is in with the add
this you're
to is
extracting. Yeah,
adding that
correct,
layer
correct.
to the map instance.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Then
this you can do.
we have this here, update displayed zip codes. I think this is right. I'm not positive, but I believe you could run map instance get bounds, and it'll give you coordinates of the coordinates that are showing up on the map right now, and then we could use the bounds to let's see, for each layer that exists on the GeoJSON layer, which is right here. So for each one of the zip codes that exist from the shapefile, we're going to check the layer. If it's an instance of Polygon, which it is going to be an instance of Polygon because we're creating that here. And the bounds intersects layer dot get bounds. So for each layer, if it intersects that, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to include it on the map, essentially zip codes dot push, and then set displayed zip codes, and we're going to use the displayed zip codes as the ones that actually show up on the map. So this whole process is basically loading up reading the shape file, getting the JSON of all the zip codes, creating a polygon for each one of the zip codes that exist and setting its color based on the value that exists in the database for that zip code, and then only displaying the zip codes that are within the bounds of the map, essentially. And then if I have these here, update displayed zip codes, but I actually want to cut these out. I don't want to, I don't think that they should even be able to move the map. I think the map should just be set based on the territory, and the territory is determined by performance, essentially. I think that would be really be cool, be automated, simplify it, and just give territories based on location and performance, that sort of thing. So my problem right now is reading the shapefile. Normally, if I use read file in Node, and I had zip code data right here, right next to the file where I'm trying to read it, and so I did, this actually is not how I left it. I was working on my laptop.
Did they have like an import from some file like as JSON? Is there one of those?
Say what?
No, I'm just wondering if like you could just do a JSON import. There's a way for an import statement, I believe, you can tell it to import JSON.
Yeah, we could import JSON, but the shapefile is compressed. Yeah, because we're pulling from this shapefile right here, which is binary data. So this shapefile library, shapefile open, actually converts the compressed file into JSON. So this will be our JSON here.
Okay.
Well, this will end up being our JSON, and we're pushing what's read from the file into the JSON. That's what I believe, at least from the documentation and the research I was doing. But I'm actually having trouble reading it because I was doing path resolve and it was navigating me into .next for some reason, which was really weird. So, and it's not, when I do just this right here, / zip code data / and then the name of the shapefile, let's just say this here, that's actually not working. I'm getting cannot read file of undefined. So even though the zip code data is literally in the same directory, the admin directory from the index.ts, you can see that if I go up to the directory that they're both in, go into the zip code data directory, which is right here, and then open up the file that we're trying to open up, it's not opening up the correct file. So that's kind of where I'm stuck right now. If anyone has any experience with the shapefile library, I was going to open up the shapefile documentation and go ahead and...
To go up to admin, don't you need 2 dots?
No.
I would say put a breakpoint.
No. Because we're in index, so if you do dot / it's gonna bring you to here, and then yeah, I believe we could try it with 2 dots. I believe I tried it with 2 dots because I was like, what the heck is going on? It just wasn't reading it properly. I don't know if it's something with
I
Node.
thought // was the same directory, and then it's looking for zip code data and not finding it.
This is the same directory. Admin is the same direct. See, zip code data and index are both in the same directory.
Okay, I'll buy that.
What's the error?
Let's see. Let's go to.
Are you sure that's like the current working directory? Because it might not be like a route. It might be just like whatever's in like physically on your file system.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in this index.ts file and we're just doing dot /, that should target the directory that we're in. At least it does everywhere else in the Next.js application, so. The error we're getting is cannot read properties of undefined, reading open. So you can see that on index.ts 28.
Oh, that's saying you haven't imported the shapefile library.
That yeah, I would say try
am.
printing, right? Doing console log source as well. I mean, just to see that the error is that only, like just to.
Yeah,
I would say.
we have shapefile project in here,
Yeah.
and I am importing it right there.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's saying that it cannot read properties of undefined, so that you're doing undefined now.
Yes,
Meaning
yes.
shapefile is
So it cannot
short
read
form.
undefined. So reading open. So open. This is undefined. So actually, this would have been
Yeah,
undefined because that's what it was before.
No, it's not. It's not what you're doing. It's shapefile itself that's not defined. I don't know how in the initialization of the shapefile library, that's happening, but it's not being initialized.
Let's see. Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading open at load shapefile. Oh, so you're saying because it's pointing here at shapefile, that shapefile is undefined. Yeah, so I wanted to check out the shapefile documentation. I mean, we have it installed here. You can see shapefile is installed, and then also we're importing it. So I wonder, there might be a different import.
I think it's import. Do import star as shapefile. No, import asterisk as shapefile.
Like that.
Yeah.
We could go, if anyone wants to, I'm going to continue work on this, but I don't want to stop the other projects. I know Anna has a project, and Anna and John have a project they're working on. So if anyone wants to work on this with me, feel free to hop into breakout room 1. And then whoever wants to work with Anna and John, feel free to just hang out here. They're going to start talking about their project now. Hey, hey.
Hello.
Alright, so shapefile npm. Oh, I have to share my screen again, huh? Alright, there we go. Cool. So shapefile npm.
Or did it not work?
It's CommonJS, not ESM.
Oh, Jim, did it not work?
I'm gonna. What do you mean?
The thing which you did, it did not work.
What did I do?
No, you changed the import, right? So.
Oh, star shapefile. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a shot.
And one more thing which I can see is along with npm as shapefile, it also need to install add types /shapefile. I don't know if that is installed.
I did see that too. Now, even though it's showing CommonJS import here, we could still use ES module import though, right?
I don't know. I've not really tried. I think there might be some transpiling thing that what TypeScript does, but I don't trust it.
Mm-hmm. Shapefile read. So we have that. Shapefile open. Open the shapefile. Returns a promise. That yields a GeoJSON feature source. Perfect. Type of a string. Opens the shapefile with the specified shape path.
Yeah, I would say just put a breakpoint and see what you actually get when you reach that line. Maybe line
Which one
22.
here? Here.
Yeah.
All right, let's
And
test this
see
out.
if you can debug it.
Let me see. This should have loaded up too. All right. Aditya. It does look like that error is gone.
Yeah, but like now it's the path. It's not able to load that path, past the path which you have given.
Yeah, failed to parse URL.
Yeah, so it tells that it needs to be a URL. So is it like, do you need to give like file dot slash double dots like colon slash, because that's how the local URL is set, right?
Open. This is a URL right here.
I think you don't need to do. Do you need to do open or you need to do read?
Open.
Or
Open then read.
okay.
Yeah, but this
because-
one has a file. This one doesn't have a URL
So
for the node example. So
try doing one thing just for testing. That shapefile which you have, put that in the same path where your file is for now. Just like move it for now and just test it.
I actually tried that.
It actually said in the docs that the first example was for Node and the other one was for a browser.
Yes.
So if this is running in the browser context, then
Yeah.
well, it's expecting a URL there.
It is running in the browser context, but this function is executing on the server. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. We have a use server here. It's an async function that can't run in a client component.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, and then you're saying just modify this here.
Yeah, I mean like just now you have put that file into, yeah. Now just remove that entire yeah, just put the file name. Don't put dot slash as well. Just the file name. Just try doing that. I'm not sure why it's because from what I see, like it shouldn't actually refer the, what do you say? It shouldn't like refer it as a URL. Does it take time?
It shouldn't call it a URL, you're saying?
Yeah, it shouldn't call it URL.
Okay. Let's give this a shot. Let's see what's going on. There is one other error that we're getting too. It's called window. I think window is undefined too. We could go ahead and check that one out because that error actually shows up before these errors.
Maybe.
I mean,
chandelier
if
from
window is undefined, that means it's your browser is off. Window is the global object.
Maybe he's running that within on the server. So
It's up here. So reference error. Window is not defined. That's happening in map.tsx at line
Oh,
9.
failed to pass URL. Why is it giving failed URL?
Oh man.
Failed to parse URL.
Yeah, it shouldn't actually.
well, why not just give it a URL, I guess?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and yeah, let's see. Actually, I don't. Yeah, this is where the error is happening, right? So let's do the debug. Let's check this out.
We're gonna put the same on the map.
Well, definitely nothing is in source. Nothing is being returned. We know that. This is the function that's failing. shapefile.
Source map. Oh, never mind.
So all this stuff is currently undefined. Yeah, this is where we get.
Can you double click on the window?
Which one?
The window error to
Mm,
see what line you're brought to.
this one here.
Oh. Yeah, never mind. Just
It's in.
continue.
That one's here. 9. Actually,
No,
965.
it's in the JS. Right?
Well, it's happening in the map.tsx file. Let's see.
I don't know if it's correctly mapped. Source map.
Actually, app admin page. Okay. So on our admin page, we're placing this map,
Just
and this map is a client component. I saw another way of importing them with a Next.js tool called Dynamic. So I don't know if that's a better way to import it. So because this should be able to remain a server-side component while the map is a client component.
you said it was server side, right?
This page should be able to stay server-side. Yeah.
Where's the use server? Is that in was that required? I don't know.
I only add, yeah, so the pages are server rendered by default, but with server actions, you have to add userver at the top.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I wonder if it would make a difference. I believe everyone is server rendered by default.
So your shapefile which you are running, the shapefile.open, is that a client mode or a server mode? The
Client mode or a server mode?
the index.ts, if you go where
This
you're opening the file.
server.
Okay, yeah. So when it's a client, then I mean when it's a browser, then basically uses it refers to a URL. When it's a node, it refers to a shapefile. That's what it is showing on the documentation. So I'm not sure if that affects.
Yeah, so all this stuff is happening on the server. You should be able to access any file on your server with this here. I actually checked earlier to see if feature collection or feature, like these types, affected anything, but they didn't. They're both types that could be run on servers. It has to be.
I mean, the issue is clear that it's basically trying, like Kevin said, it's trying to parse it as a URL and not as a local file path. So that's what we need to see, like how it's doing.
Yeah.
One way is what is that way, like how to that using that file : how to access that file on the browser. That's the path we need give, right? Something like file : I don't remember what you call it, to basically map it as a URL rather than a local path.
Or
Yeah,
you-
file.
Or you could probably, you have window there available. You could just do the current like domain as well, and then just
Yeah.
give the slashes.
Just to test if that works. I mean,
So
if you want to still give, it's basically you're trying to check your local host itself to access the file. It's like something like that, just to see if that URL is the only issue.
yeah,
I don't know what that-
I wonder why it's interpreting it as a
No,
URL.
can you go to the browser, your file explorer, to that file?
Here, I'm
and
gonna
check-
I'm gonna get the live share link and share that so y'all could pop in and make changes too. I feel like it's just easier because you explain things to me, and I'm like, I feel like I'm spending most of the time
Yeah,
looking for the right
I mean,
file.
I'm also like giving coming up with some just options of what can be done.
Yeah, that's what. So you want to make modifications to this string here? You're saying?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, now you see you have given a local path, right?
Yes.
So instead of that, you can even give like a URL part to this file, but it's more like where your local system is. It's like just used as a URL, like your IP basically slash that file where that file is.
Yeah.
You understand, like an IP thing, like a proper network level access, but it's like within the system,
Mm-hmm.
just to give it like a URL syntax. That's what I was thinking.
Your domain or host name. One of the
Yeah, domain. So if you go to your file explorer only, I think you can do. If you go to your file explorer,
Yep.
probably there you can find. Uh, but like I think I don't know how to set that path, but if someone knows, then they can just join in and type that path. Like I
I
mean,
don't understand what you mean.
so go to your folder, go to your file explorer.
Yeah, I see it. It's open.
No, not that. Like actual file explorer.
Oh.
Like go to that file, and you need to just go to that file, that shape file where it was. Uh,
Mm,
it should be there, I think, in the this. Oh,
repair.
yeah, you took it out, right, out of the.
Admin. Map and page. So it's actually.
Oh, it's not in admin. It's in
It's
the
the
other.
options.
Yeah, in actions. Go to add actions, app actions. Add
Oh,
there,
Yeah,
and,
options.
yep, yep. Okay.
and now this. Just right click on that path
Mm-hmm.
and open properties. This.
Properties.
Yeah, in that you should see. I'm not sure how you can get a like a. You just
Do you
copy
want
that.
the full path?
Yeah, copy the
Just
full
go to
path.
the address bar.
This.
No,
No, can you
This.
close out of properties for a sec? Or that one work. It's easier from the address bar on top. It's fine.
Oh, and target it from the root directory.
yeah, but along with that, also
The name of
you
the
need to.
file.
No. So, like how I can tell? I mean, it's like this C drive. This C drive is in your system, right? In your where you're having your laptop.
Yep.
So in that is also hosted on some network, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your local host network.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you to put that entire localhost network as a path, like a URL, like HTTP slash your IP domain slash C colon users, like a URL path.
Oh, to
You
actually reach out to the live server. But then that's the server making a request to the server like it's something else. That's weird.
yeah, but I mean, I'm saying that just to test this open function, whether this open only accepts the URL or also accepts the local path.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. Okay.
Just to test that, because
So.
like the doubt is whether it only accepts a URL or how to change it to accepting a local path. So I'm not sure what's the problem. That's what I was saying. I'm not sure if this localhost thing works, but
If you do a file schema, would that reach on the server, or is that just
That
for
should work,
whoever's
right?
running it?
It is 3000 or 3001.
3,000. Yeah, 3,000.
I don't think it's, yeah, correct. I think that should be able to access the file internally only. But just to see if it really accepts the file or it gives you parse in couldn't parse the URL.
Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, that's weird. I wouldn't even think of this because it's like this. Line 20. This is running at localhost 3000 right now. Like this file is executing on localhost 3000. So it's making a request to itself. It just feels weird. but this is just a test and it should work than if it's gonna take the URL you're saying. Yeah. Time will tell.
Yeah, sorry, I was out. Oh, is it not working?
Server actions must be. Huh.
People shouldn't have put that use server in
Yeah,
that component,
yes,
maybe.
Oh, yes, yes.
I didn't know.
True.
Oh, yeah. You have to every time do the make restart.
Yeah, because I don't, I haven't set
That,
up the hot
that's
rate.
one thing which actually I don't like about Docker when you are doing so many testing.
Yeah, I kind of like it better because if it reloaded every single time I hit save, it would take so long.
I think there's a way to edit this as part of one of those VS Code extensions. But, I don't know.
I mean, I know what you did is like a weird way to test it, but
Okay, here we go. Unsupported shape type. Line 23. Right here. Unsupported shape type.
so it can fetch. Can you like just do console log source? I mean, just to see if you can see the shapefile or not, like any object, like
Yeah,
You need to-
I'm gonna run the debugger so I could actually see the other values too.
yeah. Start at source, I would say.
Alright.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. It's better to run the debugger and check like what the value is.
Yeah, the first time I saw the debugger running and seeing all the different values, I was like, oh man, it would take me so many console logs to know all those values.
Yeah.
Tons of clarity, lots of clarity. Alright, so load shapefile.
Okay. So it's not yet pulled, right? So
No.
I would say in the next line you should I think see the data probably.
Unsupported shape type.
Oh, they have. Is that the code they have given? The
Can you,
No, if you see the error says unsupported shape type.
can you go back to the other page and if you can see shape, that's fine. But if you can go back to the other page,
Yeah, hold on
you
one
should be able to
second.
see the value of shape. You put the breakpoint one lower.
Hold on just 1 second.
it won't give you. You need to just put that. Put only till unsupported shape type till that number. I think.
That's funny. Alright, what file did you want to check? Who was that?
Yeah, just you could go back to was it wherever you're running the you're loading the file.
Yeah. Alright.
I guess you could put a breakpoint on it, remove it from 20.
From 20? Okay.
Yeah, and then just stop on 21, and it should be loaded.
Yeah.
Oh, source should be loaded, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean you should be able to see it if you just stop on 21.
Okay. Oops. Okay. You know what's funny is the debugger actually runs faster than doing it through Docker. So I want to get a lot better with the debugger. Like if I could just develop even with the debugger open, if I could find a way to like make it smooth where I don't have to keep starting and running it, and I could just, I don't know, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to use the debugger really smoothly and professionally and just throughout the process where, and then when some code is changed, because the debugger is going to pick up code changes immediately, right? So if I could just work through coding and the debugger, like have my code open and have the debugger app running, that'd be way smoother than like doing it through Docker, you know?
You know, you can also use the console, and like meanwhile the debugger is open while you're at a breakpoint, so you can actually just do one-liners or whatever to test different use cases without recompiling.
Yeah, true. This isn't loading for some reason. Let me. So 21, 23. That's strange. Damn, nothing for this. That's interesting.
You could just do it without the number. It's,
Yeah.
File type.
maybe if you mention what library
Just,
you're
yeah.
using.
Yeah, just I mentioned library and language, what you're using. No, along with that.
In addition.
Yeah, in addition to that. Just type, yeah, shapefile. I would say type like Next.js or what next TypeScript or whatever you're using.
Then there'll be nothing. There's only 2 options total.
Oh, where'd you get the shapefile from?
From census.gov.
Is this library designed to, open those?
Yes, that's specifically streaming shapefile parser.
This is the only, or the index.txt is the only file which has the shapefile logic, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try running in some other shapefile in some other file. I'll copy the code and I'll try to do that. Let me see. Like I have few shapefiles. You can try that.
Maybe using a broken version? Maybe?
Whatever.
No, I'm just wondering, maybe it's using a broken version, or maybe...
Yeah, I feel like that shapefile might be corrupt. I'm not sure. And usually, from what I've seen, that it's just not only that .shapefile which usually works. You need the other files as well, like the dbf, the prg files as well. So I'm not sure how this file works, because from what I know, you need those files also to support that shapefiles.
I wonder if streaming shapefile parser is different than just a regular shapefile parser, but I'm pretty sure that all we're doing is just reading it until it's done being read. And each value that exists on it is being pushed onto the GeoJSON array, features array. And this debugger's not working for some reason. It was working perfectly earlier. I don't get this. I wonder if it sometimes doesn't work. I wonder if it doesn't work when I have live share going. Because the only time it doesn't work, every time I'm by myself coding, it works. And then when I'm coding with other people, the debugger stops working for some reason.
We try putting a breakpoint on 920 again. Who knows? Might be some voodoo going on.
Yeah. So the type of shapefile. They're all basically the same thing though, guaranteed. This was like the go-to one.
We're using 6.6.
Oh, this is the one we need. Types.
Yeah, that's what you remember we like that one library was left basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to hyphen save hyphen dev.
Perfect.
Try running that now. I have like this one more shapefile. Let me see. It's a small shapefile. It's just 58 KB. See if that can work as well.
Yeah, this shit isn't working.
Let me provide you that file here.
I mean, the types are just for you, so I don't think that just
Yeah, it didn't-
recompiling it is going to be just the same as what you did a few minutes ago.
Oh, here we go.
What?
No, I was waiting for the debugger. Okay, let's see. Yeah, where'd I get this from?
Yeah, I just sent you like one shapefile on the chat, breakout room one. You can try that shapefile and see if that works as well. If this doesn't work, because this has to work, but I'm not sending all the other files like dbf and prg files as well. So I'm not sure because it seems like this library doesn't need those files.
I mean, it might be the case that you actually still have issues with importing, just for some strange reason. Because what that import star as a file is, you're taking properties off of an object, and I think you're not naturally initializing an object. But CommonJS has its own method. But it's like not what you're doing with like line 3 and line 4 are run completely differently. So,
These two?
Yeah. So I'm just saying maybe when you're using something with like CommonJS, just try with the require unless there's like a
Yeah, but there's so many different npm packages out there that tell you to do it with require and not do it with import.
but you need a flag, right, in TypeScript?
No. What do you mean? In the TypeScript config?
Yeah, in the TS config, there's like a CommonJS flag. I
Module.
don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think Next.js would let that slide. I think they would make sure that it's parsed correctly. And I've never had any issues with that before. Let me see what we got now. Alright, so the parser, the debugger is not working correctly. The site is loading. So I tried out your file, Aditya. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, this
I think
file
I'm gonna
has-
close live share if this debugger doesn't work, just to make sure. I bet you.
Yeah.
It's so funny how many bugs you see. Oh, here we go. All right, admin. Okay, cool. So it's loading. GeoJSON. Okay. So we have. That's it. Where did we stop it? We stopped it
You had an
on.
exception somewhere.
Nobody.
You're not in the bottom left-hand corner. If you see there, it says caught and uncaught exceptions. In order to see the exception, you gotta have those checked.
Checked. Yeah.
So if you just rerun the page again, maybe you'll find it. You might also find something like this, I guess. Whatever this is.
Oh, unsupported type.
Slice source.
This is when you're trying to open the
Oh.
file.
Can you check the this operator? Just
It's just checking for some header.
Type. That's the number we got. Actually, your type looks different than what our type was.
but still it's still unsupported.
I would try just once with require
Yeah.
just
I
to
mean,
see.
Okay. Let's see. Let's give it a shot.
And I probably changed the bar to like const.
Okay. Let me restart the debugger.
There you got it. Let the application go ahead. When you're catching exceptions or things, there might be other libraries that throw exceptions. So you gotta let those pass too. I think it's like paused, right? The debugger's paused.
Nah, it's still going. Complete config.
You just can you uncheck caught exceptions and uncaught exceptions at the bottom left, and then just hit continue. Yeah. One more time. Then do you need to catch the exception now?
There we go.
Yeah, I would recheck the catch exceptions. Just hit continue, and then just hit continue again. What this is. Just hit continue again. Yep, just keep going. I don't know what these are. Just hit continue. Because next, yeah, just continue. Okay, yeah, now just continue, I guess. See where it opens. Yeah. Same header issue. So it's just that header value. What is the header value when you open up here? It's just a buffer, and it's just so
Header.
I guess there's just something wrong with the file.
With the what?
With the file?
Well, we tried two different shapefiles though. One was Aditya's that he used on a different project that worked.
Yeah, it
And
works.
yeah,
Okay,
right, Aditya? Oh,
it is out.
he dropped off.
Well, what version did he use? What version of shapefile did he use? Or not the file itself, but the library.
I was looking at the library. Is it 7 years old?
What is?
Is the one you're using?
Yes, yeah.
Or would there be problems with it because it's so old?
I mean, if it's United States Census, if it's a .gov, I would assume that they keep good data. That would be my guess. If it was just like some random person maintaining it, then I would doubt it more.
Might just be a bad library.
Yeah. Huh. True, but Aditya's file didn't work either. So it's not just this file that's not working. It's a file that did work before not working too. So I don't think it's the file.
I'm on about the shapefile library. Is that a problem or?
Yeah, because this is the one he sent me, and this is the one I was trying to use initially. So neither of these files are working at all.
Well, I'm wondering maybe if you just ask him what version he used. What version and what library?
Yeah, I think he did it in Java. We could ask him, but
Oh, well, if it's in Java, then well. I'm probably not going to use it here.
yeah, I know. I think it was in Java. I'm not positive though. Pretty sure he said Java. Hmm. Unsupported shape type. Well, let's go ahead and do. Try the file I had, but
Probably either try and match the example as closely as possible, or I tried to use a different library. One of the two. I feel like you're already loading the right file, so it's not an issue of you finding a different file. Or maybe you're trying to pick the other file up. But you wouldn't be able to reach it like this because it's not a URL.
I know, but you should be able to reach it if it's not a URL. That's the thing. See?
Yeah, in Node, but it's not running like Node.
It is running Node.
Oh, no, it's running Node. It's not running like the code that's being run. I guess isn't using the same sort of context because it's accepting URL or expecting them, not.
Yeah, for some reason it's parsing it as a URL.
Yeah.
We still have the const, right? Let's see. check the logs here, see what we get, because you did recommend that we change this to const, and we haven't tried to fetch it as a file since that change, so give it a shot.
Yeah, try it. It might work.
Never know. It's always something so dumb and small too. It's always something so dumb and small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Error. Invalid URL.
Yep.
URL.
So it's just not treating it like a Node.
Let's window, that's a different one. Let's we haven't asked ChatGPT. Let's ask that. See how good it is.
I couldn't imagine. It would be-
I use it for errors a lot of the time. I try to stick with Stack Overflow first, but
I mean, it sometimes gives like general reasons for why things work.
Yeah.
Or why things aren't working sometimes.
yeah, that's what I like. I don't want code from it.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't want code from it. I just want like maybe there's something that I'm missing.
Yeah, it didn't even hit the mark.
All right, so this is
No.
definitely correct.
Fine.
It is this.
No, it's got to be a URL. It's not expecting a URL, and like that's just not a URL. So, like, the only way it's gonna accept it is as a URL. So you'd have to do it the way that you were doing it prior.
But look at the docs though.
Yeah, look at the second one, right?
Yeah, but we're not in a browser though. We're in a node environment.
But
Could we maybe try that shapefile in an application that opens shapefiles?
yeah, that works. Sure.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's a fairly generic standard. There's got to be applications that can open it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking about previously built applications that someone else built that has this functionality built into it, right?
Yeah, like some kind of vector graphics app, maybe.
Hmm. Let's Can you search projects on GitHub based on technologies? Yes, right? Mm.
You're not even going to check the vehicle for water. Come on, don't be stupid.
Huh? Let's
I think you might have been looking into something else.
nah, this is just all the code in GitHub that contains the words Next.js and shapefile. So actually, if it doesn't Can we narrow it down based on whether it's JavaScript or oh, here we go. Yeah. No JavaScript here. Huh. Is there does anyone else know another way to find a repository with this functionality?
I probably wouldn't look on GitHub. I'd start poking around on Google to see if there's any like pre-written notes. Shape file it's map, map, yeah, mapshaper.org.
Here's loading shapefile on React Leaflet. Let me just see this real quick.
Okay. Try this thing.
Hold on just 1 second. Pass the data through prop drilling. Shapefile data. Otherwise, pop up, similar, geo, add data, data. Huh. What was the one that you shared? You posted in the chat?
It's in the chat, yeah.
Map Shaper.
There's a little box that's supposed to show up in the center. You're supposed to be able to drop and paste. I don't know if you have extensions that are blocking this or something. Oh, there it is. It just took a while.
Oh, so I
Yeah,
should be
just-
able to just drop the shapefile right there. And,
Yeah,
Alright.
give it a shot. In fact, you might even be able to take a look at what library they use.
Admin. Here it is. Alright. Boom.
It's a shapefile. I think. I don't know what they look like.
Mmm. Hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, so this is literally what we need. These are the zip codes. This is perfect. But this is an image. That's interesting. Okay, so they're using the shapefile to create the image. All right, so it's a valid shapefile.
Maybe it's just the way that it's being called or handled in the library that's invalid.
Yeah, that's interesting. Shapefile was like, I looked up all the libraries and shapefile seemed to be the most used one, so that's interesting.
Just are there any other options on the function call? Like if you check on the documentation, does it say when you open? No, it's not even when you open, it's when you read, right? Or is it when you open?
Open.
Like, are there any other additional options that you need to pass in? Like, it says encoding and high watermark. And I don't think you need to change the high watermark.
dbase file at the specified dbf path. If dbf does not have a dbf extension, it is implicitly added. Huh. So do you think we have to add the dbf file too?
Oh,
We have a dbf file. Damn, that's a really good point. Looking at what's been, it's like rule 1 of reading documentation. What are the parameters? So we have shapefile, and then it looks like we have dbf, and we have options. So if type of dbf is string, opens the dbase file at the specified dbf path. If it doesn't have the extension, it's implicitly added. If an instance of array buffer or dbf instance of uint array reads as specified in memory. If type of shape or dbf is string, in Node, the files are read from the file system. So it should be read as from the file system if this is a string, which it is.
Yeah, but it's not running like it's running the num. It's running like it's running the browser.
I know.
So
I wonder if
it's doing some streaming fetch. You could probably even. I mean, could you even see that in the network tab? Is that even visible or?
you know what? Look at this. Shapefile open shape returns a promise that yields the GeoJSON geometry source, which is what we want. Unlike shapefile open, this only reads the shapefile and never the associated dbase file. So this is just for the shapefile. Subsequent calls will yield GeoJSON geometries. Okay. Open shape. Let's try that.
Oh, I know what you really get with the db file, whatever that is, but if it's necessary, I don't know.
Well, Aditya did mention that you need to use these other files for something, but he couldn't recall which ones needed to be used and how many other ones. So we'll try this with open shape, and if that doesn't work, then we'll try with the dbf and with the shapefile with the, because I'm leaning towards needing both, but I'm not positive. We'll see. Debugger's still open too.
We're probably gonna have to use the URL format, but maybe you can run this.
Load shapefile. Yeah, just getting it to show up is gonna be nice, and then then we're gonna have to parse it based on the bounds of the map, the coordinates that are being displayed on the map. So this is, but I like this feature. I want to make the map the whole page. Honestly, I would love to have just more layers on the map that provide just visualizations of needed information. Let's see.
Yeah, you gotta pass in the URL there.
Shapefile. This whole thing. Open shape. Alright, so that should work. We're about to find out.
No, that shouldn't. You still need to make it a URL.
Oh, the HT. Oh, yeah. Oops.
And I think yeah, you need to you're done.
There we go. Let's run that debugger
Is it starting from the root of the directory, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The root of the repository.
Yep.
But you can disable COD exceptions. Meanwhile, it's loading.
Okay.
And I also re-enable the COD and non-COD exceptions. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Yeah, we'll just continue until you get to the next. What is this? This is not a real implementation of used. Oh, this is next. You can ignore this.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
This is still next. You can ignore that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh.
There's a bunch of exceptions that are just thrown inside libraries. So.
All right, so here we go. It stopped.
No, it's probably gone, right? Is it? Didn't break or anything. Yeah, it's still going.
I can't move forward though.
Yeah, it's just going slow. There it is. Unsupported shape type.
Local shape. So we have a header. We have the source.
Maybe it's Puerto Rico and they don't like Puerto Rico.
Maybe.
This type slice source. Huh. Let's try the other function. Let's try the open one with both files, because he did mention.
Yeah, with the function parameter. There was a second function parameter or something?
Yes, with the DBF file. So let's go ahead and do.
Was the second one supposed to be a URL, or what was it?
Not positive. But this one's not supposed to be either, though, right?
No, I mean, they should both be the same type of like whether if they're both URLs, they're both URLs, or if they're both files, they're both files.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think I mean I don't know this library. Whatever this is.
Let's see. Let's run the debugger too.
Probably double check the docs.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what? If I can't get this working, I'm just gonna literally go through that whole documentation with a fine-tuned code and just understand it inside and out. Because what's up?
I was going to suggest the mapshaper.com only.
Mapshaper.
The mapshaper.com did not work.
Yes, it did work.
Okay, and then
That's it. That's what we need.
yeah, and then it generates a particular file, and it's kind of like a JSON file.
Oh, so we could generate the JSON file from this?
Yeah, so do export. You can see there's an export button.
Oh, up here. Okay.
So you can do I think you can do GeoJSON. And
GeoJSON.
GeoJSON I think can immediately load on. Or you can, I don't think I don't know if that JSON records also work, but yeah, try this and just save it somewhere. I think it saves
just
as a
gonna
folder.
import
It will
it.
have multiple files in
I'm
it.
gonna put it right in the project. Source app.
Because I think that shapefile JavaScript, it's not exactly shapefile is read properly. So in R there is a library called as GIS library. So GIS is basically geospatial something statistics. So that's where there's a library which you can directly load a shape object.
There we go.
Okay. Now this you can read. Oh, you're done. Now this is a GeoJSON. Now load this as a GeoJSON. Like l.geojson, I think there you can load this.
Yeah, so
directly.
we have Yeah, so we could just use read
You
file.
don't need to do this, I think, shapefile. You don't need a
No.
shapefile library.
No, I agree. Right. So, all right, that's way better. We have the data we need.
I don't
Perfect.
think it's updating anytime soon.
The zip code data, I know. And even if it does, like operating from the previously defined zip codes wouldn't make any difference in this application. All right, so
So
we
you
should
just
be
need to
able to
do-
just do like a read file, right?
No, you need to do just l.geojson and then where that shapefile you have saved. Uh,
Hold on,
where
hold
is-
on, hold on. There has to be a way easier way to do this now that we actually have the
What are you
data.
looking for?
Go ahead. What were you gonna say,
Just remember-
Aditya?
No, I said that where have you kept that JSON data, GeoJSON? So
It's right here.
this zip code GeoJSON, right?
Yeah, but now
So-
I could delete all this zip code. Let me get rid of all this garbage.
Oh yeah, you don't need that.
Nope.
So now what the best way is that geojson.json, just assign it to like a just make this file as a .js file and assign that entire JSON to a variable. And then just import that JS file in this file and then load it in a GeoJSON here. Like that zip code geo dot, make it like .js and assign that entire JSON to a variable instead of like loading a JSON file. Why do you want to do that?
But mm,
The whole, because I'm thinking of just the way to do this with next. Like, if so,
Oh,
if we're
okay.
if we're in the map and now we want that GeoJSON data, right? So we should be able to just do something simple like
Yeah, what I'm saying is you don't need to do await and all because like I mean
I mean, I would suggest fetching it from the server, but because it's
okay.
like so that you can keep the application's UI running, and then like just responsive.
Mm.
Yeah, so if we
and then you
did,
don't have to send a massive initial payload.
can we
at
just
any
do it
time.
like this right here? Import the data, and then
I wouldn't do it like that. I would probably just do a fetch from the server. This import, I think. I mean, if this is running on the server, then I guess it's probably fine. I don't know.
yeah, let's just
Yeah,
call
never
it
mind.
fetch geo JSON data. Fetch GeoJSON data. This is not actually gonna return a promise. It's just gonna return a feature collection, right?
I mean every fetch API would return a promise, right?
Actually, yeah, you can ignore my suggestion about the fetch. If it's running on the server, it wouldn't matter because you never send it to the client unless it's like unless it's like
Yeah, we would just do fetch GeoJSON data from the component, and that would fetch it from the server. We just don't need this await though, do we? Yeah, we do. And then, yeah. So if here, fetch GeoJSON data, and this would be, it might be better just to create a route handler specifically for this, right? Isn't there, let me see something really quickly. Because there was something yesterday saying that you shouldn't use server actions to fetch data from the client. Let me just check real quick. Data fetching.
Are you going to have like lot of shape files or just this one?
No. So yeah, so the plan is to eventually what we want to do is this this admin dashboard is going to look different depending on the person who's viewing it. Because if I'm viewing it over here in Connecticut, then obviously it needs to load Connecticut location with like a small area near me. That's my territory. If you load it on your end, it needs to show, you know, wherever you're at. And so eventually this needs to, on the server, I believe we should take this GeoJSON data and filter it based on map.
Yeah, I
map
mean, what I'm
data.
saying is like you wouldn't need multiple more J. This same JSON file is going to get used everywhere, right?
Yes.
You're just going to filter this same JSON file, right? You're not going
Yes.
to have, yeah. So why to like, I mean, I don't know, but like why to go with all that fetching and all? Like, I mean, I would say like just define like this zip code geo as a JS file or like some TS file, and then define that entire JSON in a variable and just import that data in any file where you want and filter that data like normal object.
But you can't import it into a client component, which our map is, and that's where we need it.
Oh, you can't?
No, because this is a client component. So this is going to be
Client
on
only
the
needs the filtered results.
Yeah, so then import in a like make that logic in a server component and create functions, and from the client it can just call that based on what data it wants, right?
Hold on, say that one more time.
So in this, if you can import that JS file in a server component, right?
Yes, I did right here.
So okay, yeah. So here only. So here is where I'm saying, instead of importing like this, create that zip code as a TS file and define a variable inside that with that entire JSON and import here that TS file so that you can directly refer that object, that data itself, rather than going with the fetch call and all. I was saying.
And you're
That's the
just
whole
saying,
point of
yeah,
JSON is
yeah, that's basically.
instantiated as an object.
Hold on. E- So change this into an actual object is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean like that zip code geo.json file which you have
Yeah.
there, like you can actually convert this file into a TS file and define like all this data, map, assign this data to a variable and call that like as like a, let's say a GeoJSON object, and then call that object inside this TS file or wherever you want later on.
Isn't that what I would do in here anyways? So
I mean
something.
fetch, I was like you're using like fetch API and all, that's what I was saying.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
using Fetch API.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought like
I was
So
gonna do that
basically,
for a
what
second.
I mean, what would we have? We'd have data equals. Actually, let's just say, I don't care about names, but object data, and we would take the data. Well, as
do
data.
l dot geojson and then put data into it.
Can't we just
L,
do this?
uh, I think it is in a JSON format, right? So you can do like l dot geojson and put data in it.
You know, you could also just do a JSON import if that's the case on line 3. So you could do just leave line 3 as is there, and then put like as JSON at the end, and then TypeScript's gonna complain a little, saying, one sec. There's a specific way to do this. JSON import.
So that's an object.
Oh, actually, you can just import the just import some value or like something. Just call it like import some object from that JSON, and actually you can do it like that with the.
Say that one more time.
Just remove the star as. Yeah.
Just data.
And I think that's it. You also need to add yes module interrupt into the TS config
Colors.
and resolve JSON module to equal true on the TS config.
Oh yeah, right.
Hold on.
Hmm.
Say that again.
I think you
So-
don't need to do JSON.parse, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so go to the TS config.
TS config.
Yeah. Do resolve JSON module in the compiler options. Oh, that one's set to true. Okay. And then you got ES module interrupt, and that's set to true. Okay. So you should be fine just importing it.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
seeing that Stack Overflow?
Yeah.
Okay, I was also seeing the same thing. The colors.json.
There used to be a way where it was like as JSON, but I don't know. But I don't know. That's too much JavaScript out there.
Yeah. So it is telling that if you set that ES module interop as false, then you need to do import star as colors as data, basically.
But we don't have to do that. We can just keep data, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you had set that to true. So
Yeah.
that shouldn't be a problem.
Actually,
But,
the only reason I put star as data is because you suggested putting star as something earlier in the session, and I
I
didn't
just
really
saw-
know what that
yeah.
meant. So I was like, "What is this
I just
doing?
saw,
Let
but
me
now I
test
know
it."
what it is.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, I think that should be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like why is the data not getting? That's what I'm saying.
So basically, we have this data. This is. Let me see.
It needs to be imported as JSON, right? So that's what.
It should be JSON file.
So we have geometry collection, and then the geometries, and then we have a massive number of. So
Yeah, those
this
are
is,
Paul- those
This
are
is massive. We don't want to have to parse this every single time. There's got to be a way to. There's got.
To memorize it or something. Is there a
Yeah.
caching?
I mean, we
I
can
don't know
load
how
it. We
many
can load it right
times
now just to
zip
get it.
codes cross state lines, but maybe you can block it in the states. I don't know.
Geometries. You know what? There's got to be a very, very efficient way of working with zip files. I mean, shape files, or this sort of data, right? It's not a shape file anymore, but it's this kind of data. It's coordinate data. There are examples of this out in the world. There's someone who works with shape files. That's their job.
So
Is working with this kind of data. So before even I continue, I just want to spend some time figuring out how the best people who work with these type of files work with these files. Because if I could just learn a little bit of that, I'm going to come back here and so much more is going to make sense. You know?
How big is the file anyway?
Huh?
How big is the file?
How do I find that out? Do we have properties in
Go
here?
to-
File Explorer.
yeah, you can see there was reveal in file explorer. Reveal in file explorer.
Say that again?
Uh,
Reveal and file.
Rev- yeah.
This one here, properties, right?
Oh, it's tiny.
146 megabytes.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
the
is kinda
usual
small.
way.
That's not even a song, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean the usual way, like if you want to like process this, so like it depends on like what logic is there. You can actually even like manipulate this GeoJSON like later on based on what add some more layers to it, like some more keys. For example, let's say if you're looking for like certain states, then within for that state you can give like a state ID or like a state name, and for that corresponding you can give like a geometrics list. So you can do that as well. It's basically you need to manipulate this data in such a way, and then you need to load that in the GeoJSON, like in the map.
You know what I think is just the best way to do it? Like the first time it loads, it's going to take a long time, right? But if you look at the map, like this map is loading zip codes dependent on who's hopping on. So when they first hop on, sure, you're going to have to go through for the first time I'm talking about, not like every time you come on. Then it will filter through this data here, figure out which coordinates are on your map based on this function right here. And then the zip codes that are showing up the first time it loads, they have to be cached somewhere on your system. So they're just on your system until there's a zoom change. Until there's a basically what would you call it, like a territory expansion. That's a big moment. So that's okay if it makes these changes and has to reprocess this what we thought was big, but it's not really that big, this big file, every time they either sign up for the application or they get a territory expansion. That territory expansion is an exciting time, so if it takes 10 seconds, which it wouldn't, that's okay. You wanna continue with what you were saying, Aditya? Just the points you were making too? Hey. I mean, I couldn't hear anything you said.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
No, was there anything being done? Like I was
No,
just
no,
feeding them out.
it's about 8:48 right now, so I'm gonna hop off in a couple minutes anyways. But I mean, what needs to be done to this function for it to be? Because the way we have it right now is a feature collection. That's how we pass it to the client component, right? As features, and so.
So,
what do we?
can you go back to that map.tsx?
Yes.
Like, how are you loading that in the map to the map?
Right here. Oh, right here.
Yeah, l.geojson.
Yeah.
So that geojson, that's the data, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you need to do await? I don't think you need await in this, right? Because you're just calling the function, right? Or you need, I'm not sure, I mean. And I'm not, yeah, and actually here you just only need to do return data actually. Because I don't think why it's not working, because you just need to like return the data, or like make like GeoJSON, const GeoJSON equal to data, like I mean. So I'm not sure why it's not working, because ultimately what you need to do is you need to just load
Load what?
so it's basically l.geojson and in the bracket it's data. Like, so now we have client and server, but that data object what you have, the zip code.json file, you need to just load that object inside of the l.geojson function. That's it. And that's when it will add. So this needs to be loaded, the JSON, into the l.geojson object.
Okay.
But
And you're saying
I'm just saying, like, here, what you need to do, like in this function, you just need to return the data object. So I don't, and that will ultimately be mapped into this GeoJSON object, and this GeoJSON object will be in that l.geojson as the first parameter.
so. The reason why I have it looking like this, and why I was gonna add each one of these data to the features array, is because there was a library I saw that contained feature collection. It's called GeoJSON, and so it gives you a structure to work
Yeah,
with.
this need to,
GeoJSON.
I don't know how to use it, but I think it need to do some research on this.
Yeah,
Because-
same with shapefile. Same with just figuring out how to work better with this GeoJSON data.
Yeah.
The shapefile's gone. I'm gonna just not even say that word anymore. We have GeoJSON data. How do we work with this?
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
yeah. There has to be a way, some documentation on how to map the GeoJSON to a feature collection object.
Yes. And then I believe we could even, because we have GeoJSON created here, and we could do something like, what does our data look like? We're getting this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So data.geometries for each.
Oh, have you heard of QuickType?
Huh?
Have you heard of QuickType?
No.
Yeah, it's a pretty good library. It will give you a type from pretty much any object for a lot of different languages.
What's it called?
QuickType,
QuickType.
it's got an extension on VS Code. It's worth installing.
Okay, I'll look into that too. Cool.
I'm saying you could probably use this to get the structure of your zipcode.go.json file.
To get the what?
The structure of this file. Like what type.
Yeah, gotcha.
So at least
You're talking about this actual internal structure here.
Yeah. So IntelliSense actually gives you something to work with. Although it's quite large.
You can take only like few datas. You don't need everything, right?
No.
Yeah, so I'd say, like, I don't know how you can take that as well.
I wonder what's actually included, because we just have coordinates, right?
Let's try the whole thing first and then see if your computer explodes.
Yeah, let's see. Because then we can see what properties we actually have. I guess that's part of learning how to deal with these GeoJSON.
Yeah. Unless they provided a type for you. In the whoever gave you the schema file originally.
Well, there's this right here that I found. It's specifically working with GeoJSON.
That's not the format that you're using, right? That's a different format than the file you have. Yeah, so I'd probably give QuickType a check, see if you can maybe perhaps run it in the command line to not have NPM or not have Visual Studio Code explode, and try and generate a type for the JSON file, and then that might help you some.
Yeah. True, because this is used to actually convert it into GeoJSON, and it's already in GeoJSON format now. We just need to figure out what the format is to actually use the correct stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm working on my my laptop a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and just push this since we're not in production yet anyways. And if anyone wants to go ahead and try to solve it, that would be nice. I'm gonna take some time to just explore working with GeoJSON data. I'm gonna explore this website you just shared as well. Definitely knowing the structure is gonna be a valuable thing. And then, what's today? Thursday, huh? Yeah. Alright, so we're not meeting again until Monday, but feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Alright. Cool. And as always, if anyone has any projects to work on, feel free to announce that in the beginning of one of these sessions. Monday, we'll break out. We'll see if anyone has any projects they want to work on. If other people want to work on them with you, you go ahead and get them built. If not, just come up with a better idea, and yeah, we'll just keep building. Cool. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
John and Anna are gonna be on till like 3 in the morning. I'm gonna pop in there in like an hour or two. You know they are, man. I checked Discord last night. I was like, I forgot what time it was, but I saw them still on. I was like, damn, man, they're grinding. I love it. So cool. All right, cool. I will see y'all soon.